Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome along to episode 57 of the Sofamanager Scottish Football Podcast. As we've mentioned, though, there's not much Scottish football to talk about, so today's the day we kind of retrace our roots back to last summer and go a little bit more continental and a little bit further afield. We'll talk about Scotland and their visit to the Aztecs in the early hours of the morning. Interested to see if anyone watched that. We'll also preview the World Cup a little bit. We'll just talk about who we're supporting this year, because there's a lot of the fan fever, there you go, about it. So we'll cover that, and of course get to our eagerly anticipated La Liga and Ligue 1 reviews. We're starting to review some of the European football, which of course I have watched loads of this season, so we'll get to that. Very fortunately, joining me tonight is our very own Guillaume Ballet. I don't know how to put a Spanish twist on it, but it is Darren Gibson.
Hello, Paul. How you doing?
Good. We've missed your La Liga.
Yeah,
we used to get a weekly rundown.
Yeah.
So you're the perfect man to give all the insights. Has it been a good season in La Liga?
I've enjoyed it. Yeah,
good.
It's been good.
That'll do. That's a good
Loads
trail.
of talking points.
Stay listening later on, and of course me, Scotland's ropiest footballing announcer, Paul Menzies. Also, Chase tuned because we've got our little World Cup quiz as who's rushing to the World Cup. See what I did there? And listen as well again for who we'll be supporting and who we think might go on and win the tournament. So let's crack straight on, shall we, Darren?
Yeah.
Good. So, first of all, Scotland's only involvement in the World Cup was a polite send-off to some South American teams who'll be going to the tournament, or Central American, depending on where you put it. We played Peru this week on BBC at 1-2 in the morning.
I think so, yeah. It was 2 o'clock in the morning.
Did you see that?
I didn't, no.
No, neither did I. I'm not surprised. And then we played Mexico at the Estadio Azteca. Remarkable stadium, at one point could hold 120,000 people.
Is that right? I never knew that, actually.
So you could cram Celtic Park and Ibrox together.
And then you get that stadium.
You still wouldn't have that stadium quite, which is it's quite remarkable. But again, on at 1 in the morning. Did you see it, Darren?
No.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't one for the well, there are fans there, but not one for us at home to watch.
The Tartan Army always turn up, don't they?
Yeah. I was fairly happy. I mean, I thought it was actually quite good because it was on Sunday morning on the BBC, so you could wake up to a nice fry up, and the Scotland game was on. I mean,
true, yeah.
It wasn't worth it. I watched up until 14 minutes because I knew that's when they scored.
If I hadn't been working the following day, I might have stayed up and watched a bit of it, but sadly I couldn't do that.
Very experimental side. I was fairly happy with a 1-0 defeat to Mexico.
Yeah.
I thought they started quite well. It looked, apparently later on in the match, didn't quite pan out.
Yeah, I seen the stats and things. It looked like Scotland didn't really do much in the game, but at the same time, Mexico had loads of shots, but they only scored the 1 goal, didn't they? So I think they are struggling to score goals. I think they've had a few games now. That's what they had been saying, but
just don't understand. This Hernandez is just constantly on the bench, no matter where he goes.
I know,
brilliant striker, fantastic header of the ball. Can he get a game?
I'm a big fan of him. I think
better
really
than
good.
Flipping. Was it Herrera? That was it. Rangers never got a game.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So goal coming from obviously former Barcelona star Giovanni Dos Santos. It was a horrendous goal defensively.
I'm not actually seen it. Was it that bad?
Where's Giovanni now? Is he out in America?
America, I'm sure it's
he was the first one to be touted as the next Ronaldinho
because his brother joined him. Jonathan Dos Santos joined him too.
Big Johnny Dos Santos. So he got the goal. A few familiar names. Lyon, who I think plays with Seville. I remember him as a Porto player.
That's right.
I can't remember anyone else. But
I'm not sure if Marquez still plays for them or not.
He does.
Does he? Yeah.
At the age of 39.
That's unbelievable.
Scratch that quiz question for later. Again, he had the peak of his success at Barcelona.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I can't believe he's still playing.
I know. There's a lot of parallels that have been drawn about, Scott McKenna. Who captained the side for the first time. It was pointed out his first game of the season was in the Challenge Cup for the Aberdeen Colt team.
Ah, right,
First year they had Colt team. And he finishes the season in front of 70,000 people at the Azteca and the Scotland captain.
Yeah.
So that's quite the meteoric.
It's a bit different, yeah.
Well, do you know what? See, for a lot of them, I was like, even Ryan Christie, Graham Sherry, the fullback for Kilmarnock, Stephen O'Donnell. 70,000 people in Mexico.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity for them to play in that.
Huge. And do you know what? The tour to me looked like a bit of fun.
Yeah,
I think they've pointed out that McLeish has lost 3 out of 4. I don't care. They
did slag off the fixtures like before they actually came out. Like they were saying, "Oh, what's the point of going all that way?" But at the end of the day, it's still good to see that we're getting to play these teams.
And now a Peruvian has met Dylan McGeoch. They can die happy at that point, quite frankly.
Sorted.
Exciting. But I guess that leads them. I think it was Mexico's send-off.
Yeah,
to the World Cup.
Like
in
most
Russia.
of the teams, same with Peru, I suppose.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So it starts next Thursday. Russia will face Saudi Arabia. And I thought, we'd just kind of trail, because we'll preview a bit more next week.
Yeah.
What kind of memorable moments? Do you have any memorable moments of the World Cup?
Yeah, I've got a few. Like, I remember being on holiday and Zinedine Zidane.
That's a good holiday thing.
Zinedine Zidane doing his headbutt. I remember that.
Materazzi.
That was a memorable moment for me. And also Andres Iniesta's goal when Spain won the World Cup.
Was that against Holland?
Against Holland, yeah. So
someone kicked someone in that final.
It was a few. I can't remember who it was, but it was the moment I thought was great, because I remember actually watching it back on TV, and I think it was Guillaume Balaguer actually talking about him. He had been saying that it's quite funny the moment that he goes to strike the ball, the stadium just goes absolutely silent. And it was, the place was bouncing, and then everyone just goes silent, and you hear him kicking the ball, and then boom, there we go.
Who knew?
The winning goal. Yep.
He'd be retired. I think this is his last World Cup, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's, well, you'd expect so. He's 30, he's 34 this year, I think. So yeah.
I think from the South African tournament, I don't remember much from South Africa.
No, not really.
It wasn't a classic tournament.
I wouldn't say so, no.
From what I remember, but I do remember, I've got his name written down, Safiwe Shabalala. Oh, for goodness sake.
I'm glad you're saying this.
Shabalala getting the first goal for South Africa against Mexico.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough. And ITV at the time had it rigged up with some school kids in an African hat who were just going.
I remember watching, yeah.
So I'm sobbing in tears, going, the success, the pride. I think another cool moment was, I think this was a Euro tournament, to be honest, but when I was at university going to watch it in the pub.
All right, yeah.
A lot of great summers had in the pub watching that type of football.
Definitely. It's always good watching the World Cup.
Oh, definitely. Although I saw, actually, one pub had to cut down the Saudi Arabia flag.
All right.
Because alcohol's not really a thing in their culture, and they've got outside a pub. Okay. Goodness, PC culture as it is these days.
Yeah.
But it was 2 French guys just belting the French national anthem, like da da da. You'll see it a lot of times when they come over for the rugby and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was cool to be involved, with other people. And again, it'll be the same sort of thing on holiday.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I was going to say that, like, when I've been on, like, the cruise, actually, for the 2014 World Cup, I was on the cruise.
Waters,
yeah, and it was quite surreal, actually, because you had, like, Brazilians on there, you had Colombians, you had...
Come down there, Dan. Let's keep the...
There's my notepad. And, like, there was Americans there, too. It was quite surreal. The American fans were funny. I remember watching their game against Belgium, and it was actually at the Ice Rink, because there was something else on, and something else on was in the screen where they usually have the projector, so they made a wee projector in the Ice Rink, and it was just hilarious, and you had the USA fans going USA, USA, and it was brilliant, great atmosphere.
You'll be getting the pucks in the hockey.
Yeah,
that
was after the game.
Would that have been the year they did really well? Because I remember Tim Howard was like an international
they done
hero.
Pretty well, yeah. I remember Lukaku scoring in that game, but... And
I remember they changed the Wikipedia entry for the Secretary of Defence to be Tim Howard. He was playing that well as a goalie.
Yeah, he was good.
So no, there's lots of good memories there, but I think the last one in Brazil wasn't a particularly memorable tournament.
No, I wouldn't say so. I would say Germany flashing Brazil, that would be a standout moment, I suppose. But yeah, in terms of the tournament, I wouldn't say it was it was amazing either, really. But
So do we think...
I still enjoyed it though. Probably linked in with what I just said there,
Yeah.
because it was on the cruise. I enjoyed it a wee bit more in terms of.
Cruises, Dan, for goodness sake. Get
But
yourself
in
off a
terms
boat.
of in terms of like everybody that was there, it did bring the atmosphere and the sort of cultures of the different people. It was really good.
Bring the noise. That's what you need.
But yeah, you're right. Actually, it wasn't the most memorable.
I think for me the sort of Euros were quite dull,
Yeah,
and a lot of very close fixtures that were quite tense.
true. Yeah,
And I think football's kind of been going more that way in these international tournaments. So I'll be interested to see if Russia's the same,
yeah.
because there's always some big surprises.
There is, yeah.
Things like that. So I'm hoping for a better tournament. I'm excited about it.
Definitely.
Hopefully the time differences aren't too bad. It obviously depends. You could be playing nigh on next to Japan and then next to flipping
That's true.
Europe, which is bizarre.
Hopefully there's no trouble.
Well, I'm sure I watched. There was a documentary on the BBC about the Russian ultras last year.
Yeah.
And these guys would just fight for the sake of fighting.
I never seen it, but I heard about it, and it was just crazy, wasn't it?
They just got into the bleakest of fields and started kicking lumps out of each other. It was nothing to do with the football at that point.
Yeah.
So, hopefully the trouble is not so bad.
Yeah, or contained at least.
Well, we saw what happened with England and Russia last time, and even I think some Ukrainians at the Champions League final. So hopefully not. I mean, that's not part of football.
No, exactly. Yeah, that's my biggest concern anyway. Don't want that taking anything away from the tournament, really.
Well, we didn't qualify, Dan, so it's not our it's not our major worry. That's for sure. But so who are you supporting?
Who am I supporting? I would say I'm supporting Brazil.
Really?
But, yeah. But
I expected you to say Spain.
Yeah. I want Spain to do well too, but for some reason I'd like to see Brazil win it. But at the same time, I would like to see Argentina win it just for Lionel Messi. But
coming off a stellar season, which we'll discuss later.
Yeah, it's a bit of the two. But no, I've supported Spain the last couple of World Cups, and I fancy going for somebody different.
Quite right.
So yeah, I've went for Brazil. What about yourself?
I mean, I was always been a champion of France.
Right. Yeah.
Foolishly, because they are very much the Hibernian of these international tournaments. You will always French it.
Yeah.
As I would like to think.
They get close, but not quite.
They fluffed it at the Euros when they were by far and away the strongest team there.
They were, yeah.
They haven't really been at the races since the 2006 tournament when they got to the final. And Zidane, that's crazy to think we've now seen him come through a generation of management.
I know.
But, somewhere I go on holiday a lot. So I think that's got a really strong squad. I'm a big fan of the French League, big supporter of Paris Saint-Germain. And, with the likes of, Griezmann, Pogba, Mbappe, it's an incredibly strong side. A lot of question marks around the coach. Do I think they can do it? Nah, I'd be amazed.
There is a feeling that I hope they do, because at my work it is our team that we're getting behind. So it's we've done a draw for who each department got their own sort of team, and we got France. So fingers crossed they do.
I know. I've never actually bought their kit, despite the fact I like it so much. The only one I bought was heavily discounted at the Nike factory store.
Oh yeah.
Where I get most of my football kits, because I'm massive.
Their new kit's quite smart, actually.
France. Quite smart.
The white one's smart, actually. I've seen them wearing that the other day.
It's been a nightmare to get a hold of.
Yeah.
Have you bought any World Cup kits yourself?
Not yet, no.
I feel like getting in on the
I don't know who to get, because I like Spain, but then I want Brazil to win, but then I want Argentina to so it's who to get.
I've seen the pictures of the Brazil with the Neymar.
Yeah,
on the back,
yeah.
And
they are smart, yeah.
I quite want, because my small team brings me on to, is Japan.
Japan,
again.
You like Japan, yeah?
Like
you want to visit Japan?
Well, interesting too. We have a friend of a friend who's an air stewardess.
Yes.
So pictures from Tokyo and stuff. And I'm just obsessed.
Jealous.
To go there. Mainly for an orange PlayStation Vita.
Right.
So for any of you that know what that is, do write in. So no, I love the culture over there, and I was really taken by them when they played in the Confederations Cup.
Oh yeah.
In Brazil, they had a fantastic match against Italy, where they ran them really close years ago now. I remember before I went off to university, things like that. But I just think there's such honour in their culture and in their play. They don't dive, and some really cult hero sort of players. Yuto Nagatomo.
Oh yeah.
From Inter Milan, big fan, nice pacey. Kaisuke Honda,
Honda, yeah. There's
free kick specialist.
a name that I've heard from Blast for the Past a wee bit, actually.
Aye, he was at
He's
AC
at AC Milan for a while, wasn't he?
I think he's in Germany now with Frankfurt. I'm not entirely
Is he?
sure.
All right, okay.
And of course, people like Shinji Kagawa
Yeah.
and Okazaki.
Okazaki, yeah.
Some quite, well, of course, our famous Shuniseki Nakamura.
Oh, yes, aye.
Also the name of a wrestler, not to be confused with. But I was looking at their kit, and the kind of blue home one's quite smart.
It's cool, yeah. I noticed that, actually.
Can't get a hold of it. It seems to be one of the rarer. The
that right?
only place I could
Is
find
it made by Adidas? Or is it?
Adidas one, yeah. The only place I could find it in medium was on the Adidas website for £70. Now, for the £70, you did get free shirt printing,
Right,
which I thought was meh. It was an alright deal, but like
that's the problem. They're expensive these days, aren't they?
£70. That's the price of 2 football kits, as
Yeah.
far as I'm concerned. So I'll maybe hod off on that one. Although I was desperate for the Nigeria kit.
Oh yes, aye.
Did you hear
Like
about
many
this?
people, yeah.
Oh man,
I heard it was like queues galore or something like that. It was sold out after like 2 minutes or 5 minutes.
before it had even went on sale, 3 million.
Is
People
that
tried
right?
to get a hold of this kit.
That's unbelievable.
And it was so smart. It's going back to that kind of retro.
Oh,
vibe,
it's
isn't
very
it?
nice. Like I'm not a big fan of green, but that's a nice top.
It's the fashionistas World Cup kit, very much so. So disappointing. They had tracky bottoms. It was about the only thing they had on some of the websites. I'm like, well, and even they went
Yeah.
as well. But I saw when they played their friendly against England,
Oh yeah.
very large Nigerian contingent in the crowd, and I'm guessing a lot of them must come over here and like work and stuff like that.
Yeah.
All wearing the kits, and I'm like, where did you get them?
That's who bought them all.
Apparently queued outside the Nike store and everything. So, I wish teams would do that a bit more. And we're moving more towards retro kits. I saw the new Hibs one's got a bit of a retro vibe to it.
Right, yeah.
Would be good. Is there any minnows that you're rooting for? in the
Minnows,
tournament
I suppose Croatia. I quite like Croatia actually.
Yeah.
Like got Rakitic there. I've always been a big fan of Luka Modric. I quite like their team. I've always, even at the Euros, I quite liked them. I was hoping they were going to get a wee bit further in the last one. I think it was Portugal that put them out. But yeah, I've always quite liked Croatia. I don't know, I'm sure they were once in England's group, and that was why I started supporting them even more.
Well, I think
because they nearly put them out, or they did put them out.
Yeah.
But I can remember always, like, every so often coming across and actually buying a Croatia top or whatever. So
quite smart with the checkers.
I've always quite liked their kit. So yeah, I'd say Croatia's my sort of minnow team, and I'd like to see them do pretty well, to be honest.
Yeah, they've always been a really good footballing side.
Yeah,
Ratingly.
and they can be sometimes an underdog, so hopefully they'll do pretty well. Don't get me wrong, I'm not expecting them to come like last four or whatever, but they are a team that I always follow, and I hope they do well.
It's good to champion these sort of sides.
Yeah.
I think, as I say, Japan, every chance. Their group is Senegal, Colombia and Poland.
All right, okay.
So you can pick any of those four,
Yeah.
really. So, but then that's your best chance to make something of it. So we'll wait and see.
That'll be a competitive group, that I
It
expect anyway.
It shall. So no, looking forward to it.
Yeah,
We'll
I'm
be
looking forward to it, yeah.
Camped out in the pub for the next 2 to 3 weeks, enjoying the footy. Anyway, now to the exciting part.
Alright, yeah.
Going to start on, are they rushing to the World Cup? So cue the quiz music. Right, so I was hoping for some Russian-themed World Cup music.
Alright, yeah.
But short of the Tetris theme tune, I came across absolutely nothing that was appropriate. So, in the comments down below, please suggest what you would think would be a good Russian World Cup theme tune. It doesn't necessarily have to be Russian, so to speak, but it's totally up to you. Now, Darren.
Yes.
The premise of the game, are they rushing to the World Cup or not?
Okay.
So who stays, who goes?
Right, okay.
If
No
they
pressure.
are going to the World Cup, you say yes. If they're not going to the World Cup, you say no.
They know.
So this is who's been included in the 23-man squads.
Right, okay, yeah.
So we'll start off with an easy one, shall we say. Alvaro Morata of Spain and Chelsea. Going or not going?
I think that's a no.
You are correct.
Yeah.
Not going. Do you know who's going instead?
Off the top of my head, midfield, so Iniesta will be...
Striker-wise, I'm thinking.
So a striker more. Aspas by any chance?
Diego Costa.
Diego Costa.
I was like, what? You picked Diego Costa? No matter, but fair play. Olivier Giroud of France.
He's going, hasn't he?
Correct. Of Chelsea as well. Is going, unlike his pal Morata. Awkward moments there. Hector Bellerin of Arsenal Spain. Is he going or not?
I'm sure the young lad at Real Sociedad got picked, so I think that's a no.
You're correct.
Yeah.
3 out of 3 here, Dan. You're doing well.
I'm doing better than what I expected.
We're going to have to throw a complicated one in here. Ilkay Gundogan of Man City in Germany. Going or not going?
Oh, that's a tricky one because he has been injured, so I'm going to say is going.
Correct.
Is he?
Wow. He is going. Staying along the same lines of Man City, Leroy Sané. Going or not going?
Now, I did hear that headline.
Darn.
So
it came out
so
today.
He's not going. Yeah.
Darn. Leroy Sané.
That's a shock, especially because he's young too. I thought he'd been there, but
absolutely crazy.
Might regret that one, Germany, I think.
I think so. He's got the most assists out of anybody, I think, in the top leagues as far as Germany are concerned.
That's what I was thinking.
So they've got a really weird team. They've still picked people like Mario Gomez and
it's a bit an older team, isn't it?
A bit of a retro vibe.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes there. Jamie McLaren of Hibernian Industry, going or not?
I'm sure he's going, isn't he?
He is going.
Yeah.
He was added at the last minute.
Right.
And
that's good for him.
It's very good. Very good for Hibs.
Yeah.
Him and Tom Rogic of Scotland fame.
True, yeah.
We established roughly how many
I think there
players.
Was more than that, but still.
Yeah, we kept adding as the podcast went on last week. Listen if you haven't heard. And last of all, Sonia Luko of Nigeria and Cardiff City, I think.
Right. Struggling with this one. I'm going to go for no.
You're correct.
Oh yes.
The legend that is Sonia Luko is not going, but if he was, I would have paid £1.5 million for a Nigeria top with a Luko
on the back.
So you get full marks there, Darren.
Yes. I think that's our first time.
That was rubbish. that quiz was clearly not challenging enough. So well done there.
Thank you.
And as I say, we will be trying some sort of World Cup themed quiz every week. So write in with your theme tune suggestions, please. I'm desperately needing one. And that would help a lot. Anyway, that leads us on to our eagerly anticipated season reviews. So we will start with La Liga in the Spanish League.
Mm-hmm.
Opening arguments, on you go, Darren.
Right, so La Liga season review. So I've picked out a couple of things.
A couple
of talking points. So first of all would be obviously Barca winning the league. And Copa del Rey, so the double in the league. But also the points difference, that was a big talking point because Barca won the league by 14 points ahead of Atletico Madrid.
Quite a lot
Real
in Spain,
Madrid,
that tally.
which is a lot, yeah, definitely. They've done really well this season, Barca. But also ended up being 17 points behind Barcelona, Real Madrid. So that's definitely been a shock, especially with the form that they've had in Europe. Real Madrid, you'd expected more in the league, but they've just not been at the races really this season, Real Madrid, in the league.
I think, from what we've seen, they kind of fell behind early.
Yeah.
And when you fall behind...
Never quite recovered. Yeah.
When you fall behind a team like Barcelona, it's interesting that Atletico would finish above them.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think there's been huge surprise.
No. Especially in recent seasons, Atletico Madrid have done really well. And they had a bad start to the season, Atletico, especially with getting kicked out of the Champions League too. Yes. But worked out okay for them winning the Europa League.
Them, I know. Isn't it bizarre that the Champions League and the Europa League trophy are essentially like 10 miles apart?
Yeah.
What it must be to be a football fan in Madrid.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
They're in a stadium as well this year.
Yes, that's right. Metropolitan.
Yeah. I heard
some stadium.
I heard comments from Simeone basically saying that we would have won the league if we had Messi.
Yeah.
And I think he was so instrumental. I've been criticising him all season because I haven't really seen much.
Yeah.
But you look at his stats and stuff, he's just on another level.
He's been absolutely brilliant. 34 goals in Europe. It's just
34?
Amazing. 34 goals, yeah.
Unbelievable.
I think he was 2 goals ahead of Mo Salah.
2?
Yeah.
His fellow kind of Ballon d'Or competitor.
Yeah,
I say Ballon d'Or as if it's some ice cream manufacturer, is what it sounds like.
But yeah, it'll be interesting. You can never rule out Ronaldo, I suppose, when it comes to the Ballon d'Or too. But
making noises about wanting his way out of Real Madrid.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be interesting. They were saying that the president was trying to use Zidane as a sort of person that would get they two out the club, they two being Bale and Ronaldo. But I'm not sure that was totally true. But Zidane's had enough and he's walked away.
That was shocking.
He's done a brilliant job there. But I was
always
really
a big
shocked
fan
when I heard the news.
Yeah, President was always a really big fan.
Yeah,
it took us all aback, but when you've been that successful,
Very true. Aye. He's won the Champions League 3 times a trot. Obviously, he's won the La Liga. He's done a brilliant job there. I was a bit surprised when I heard that he's going to Qatar, I think it was,
really?
for 50 million a year.
Oh, it's all lies. He's just out there on holiday on a nice wee beach somewhere.
Yeah. What's the top up that time?
Exactly. I mean, even if it were, you could pay the Aberdeen manager 50 million a year. It doesn't make them any better.
Yeah.
So
true.
Mind you, one thing I didn't consider was the World Cup with them coming up as the.
Well, no, that's what I was thinking.
They do need
the reason why. Yeah.
Put it together. So I don't know how we'd manage that. Just get Messi and his wife to have their kids in Qatar.
There'll be a bit of difference going from having Ronaldo and Bale in your team to whoever they have.
Well, if you could get a wee junior, if you could get Ronaldo's son exactly with a Qatari passport, could have a wee junior side ready for that World Cup. But it kind of him leaving almost opens the door for Ronaldo and Bale to stay, doesn't it?
Yeah, I would say so. I'd say that one of them might leave in the summer, but Bale is saying that he's interested to wait and see who the new manager is, which kind of signals to me that he's wanting to stay now. But at the same time, Ronaldo's hinting that he's wanting to leave, but then every year he does this, so we'll probably find when it comes to the end of the summer, we'll still have Ronaldo and Bale at the club. But
it is ridiculous in that. I was going to mention this later on, but Neymar's been making sounds about leaving PSG, and
to Real,
their new manager Thomas Tuchel has just come and had a word with him, and Neymar was impressed. And the fact now that you've got to impress your players is ridiculous.
I know, it's crazy. I know
the control they have is
how the
insane.
tables have turned.
It is absolutely ridiculous. But a lot of money, in terms of signings, has been splashed about.
Yeah, definitely.
La Liga this year, hasn't it?
So, like, for example, Barcelona in January, they signed Philippe Coutinho and Dembele.
I forgot about Coutinho since he left the Premier League.
Yeah, but he's done really well, considering he's only been there for the 6 months.
Yeah.
I've been quite impressed by him. I wouldn't say that he's done everything that we expected him to have in terms of a massive impact, but I think he's done a better job than Dembele. I feel Dembele's struggled a wee bit more to adapt to the Barca way playing. But 300 million euros, I'm sure it was.
What?
It cost Barca for they two in January.
Well, the good news is one of their presidents, one of the members of the board, whatever.
All right, okay, this will be good.
One of my fun statements. He was quoted as saying, if we bought 2 players for 270 million euros, we would need to resign, because it would be absolutely absurd. 2 of them cost 300. So that was a wee quote picked up from the guy.
Sounds a bit right.
One of them also said, I am 200% sure that Neymar won't leave.
Yes, that was a classic quote, that, yes.
So that went down brilliantly as well. But lots and lots of money spent, and it's probably needed at Real as well.
I think they'll be spending a lot of money this summer. It's been rumoured with a few players already, like Robert Lewandowski's been rumoured to be leaving Bayern Munich, so he might be
gone.
He might be going to even maybe taking over from Benzema, as you say. And they have been rumoured with another couple of people like Hazard. I'm not sure if he would look to leave Chelsea or not, but I suppose if Roman Abramovich is going to pull the plug on Chelsea, then that could signal Zidane. Hazard. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens there in the summer. I think there has to be a sort of big clear out at Real Madrid, because they have got, well, not a big clear out, but a couple of big name players leaving and maybe a new couple coming in, because they are an aging squad. When you look at the squad, they've got Cristiano Ronaldo there, he's 34 next year actually, 33 at the moment. You've also got players like Luka Modric, 32. These guys are still doing great. And Sergio Ramos, yeah, you can't forget him.
He's released a single, I think, for the Spanish World Cup.
Is that right?
Yeah, I saw the cover art. It looked very cringe. Very, very cringe.
I thought it'd have been Shakira or somebody else.
Well, I'm sure Sergio Ramos' dance moves are good. I've seen his diving.
Ah, yes.
So we'll wait and see there. But we've also lost some big names.
Yes,
from the league.
definitely.
A few emotional goodbyes.
I would say so. Yeah, I was two players that I've always enjoyed watching in La Liga. Andres Iniesta and Fernando Torres, both leaving their clubs. Andres Iniesta going to Japan, actually.
Where's he playing, Darren?
Good question, Paul. You got to tell us. You got to tell us.
I gave you my Japanese facts earlier, and I'm out.
And Fernando Torres leaving the club. So it'll be interesting to see where Torres goes from my point of view, because
Glasgow Rangers.
Is he going to? I'd love to see that. But is he going to go back to the Premier League with Newcastle? Is he going to go to America, or is he going to do the same sort of thing as Iniesta? Maybe go to Japan or that.
Wait and see. Iniesta, I think, playing his last World Cup for Spain.
I would
this
say
year.
so, yeah. 33, so I'd be surprised if he played another one, but he's been absolutely brilliant. I would say he's one of the best midfielders in the game, especially at the moment, or in the past. I've loved watching him over the years, and I think it's a big loss for for Barcelona, but also for the league. But it's been great watching him over the years. I don't know if obviously you'd have seen him over the years in terms of Champions League and that, but
emotional scene seeing him out on
what
the
he's
pitch.
done in football, it's
Remarkable.
just amazing. Yeah,
It was emotional seeing him out on the pitch until the wee hours in the morning.
yeah, that's right.
You
Yeah,
never see that.
No,
never see
definitely
that.
not. No,
It
it just shows you how much he's loved his time at Barcelona.
Well done, him.
Yeah, definitely.
There were other stories to tell elsewhere in the league, though.
Yeah,
of course.
We had Valencia. They were the surprise package of the season, I suppose.
Fans'
Coming
favourite.
fourth. Yeah. The fans in Valencia are always funny. Like they always expect more. So they came 12th last season, which was obviously really bad. The fans raging, not happy with that. And then they've done well this season to come back fourth. Must say, I never expected it.
No.
But they've got Champions League football next season, so the fans.
First time in a long time.
Yeah, definitely. The fans will be happy at that. They've done well all season, really. It's a shame that they fell off. At times, it really did look at one point that they could have been coming second or third towards the start of the season, middle part of the season. But they've done really well. A couple of players that obviously you know, Zaza. And a player that I've tracked, he's done really well this season, Rodrigo, who's been called up to the Spanish national team.
Is he a former Barcelona player?
He isn't actually. I'm sure he played for Real Madrid for a while.
Sorry, Barcelona fans.
In his youth career, and he played for Benfica, I'm sure, before he came to Valencia. Yeah. But I actually followed him at times at Benfica, and he is a good player. So it's good to see him actually showing his potential.
Big fan of Danny Parejo.
Parejo, yeah.
I think
their
it's still
captain,
there.
yeah.
He's got himself a wee FIFA team of the season card.
Ah, right, yeah.
So the new manager's really worked wonders there.
Yeah, he's done a really good job. His name's escaped me, but he's done really well there. And I'd expect probably bigger things from Valencia. I'll be interested to see in the summer if they actually bring in big names, or if they're going to try and stick with that team that they've got. Because they've done well this season, but how would they get on in the Champions League next season? That would be the interesting thing.
Difficult.
But I think they've got their finances back in order, basically. I don't know if you heard, but they had to stop building their new stadium because they had ran out of money. So
it's been
seems
on
to
the go
be
for 10 years.
Yeah, it seems to be that they're getting back on that in terms of building the stadium again, and I think the club's in a much better financial place.
Fingers crossed.
So hopefully with them going into the Champions League, that will also help them. So I've always quite liked Valencia, to be honest.
I like them back in the Toyota days. They used to have some cool kits.
I've always liked their kits. So
that's the main thing.
Yeah, so it'll be good to have them back in the Champions League. So yeah, and sorry.
No, on you go.
And I'll be interested to see how they get on taking over from Seville, really, because Seville
slipped back.
Slipped back in the league, coming 8th in the league, which
Eighth?
was seventh, but nearly coming 8th. But compared to where they have been in previous seasons, that's a big step back for them, obviously.
So who finished 5th?
5th was Villarreal.
Well, that's good for them.
Yellow Submarine.
So is it still Soldado?
No, he's away. He's away to Fenerbahce, I'm sure.
Good for Villarreal.
Villarreal, I don't know if you would know many of the players really. Sansoni's been playing well for them this season.
No idea.
Bakamu. Actually, one person you might know, Carlos Bacca.
Yes,
striker.
from AC Milan.
Yeah,
I thought he was in China. He must have come back.
I'm sure he went there and then he came back to Villarreal. Sorry.
I think the one thing about these league positions is they were all fairly set in stone.
Yeah.
For some time, I think the only people to move were Real Betis.
Yeah, definitely.
Who overhauled Seville.
Yeah, really good season for Real Betis. At the start of the season, they were leaking goals like mad.
Yeah.
But as the season went on, they started to make a couple of good signings, and their defence got into order. They signed Bartra from Dortmund. That was a good signing for them.
Bartra.
Yeah, Mark Bartra. He definitely helped in that cause in terms of stopping the teams from scoring against them. At the start of the season, what you found with Real Betis was they were winning like 5-2 or 6-4 or whatever.
Ridiculous scorelines.
Crazy scorelines. It was almost like Barcelona from last season, really. They would score more goals than you. They might concede a few goals, but they would.
You should have a word with the Glasgow Rangers.
But yeah, so really good season for Real Betis, and it'll be interesting to see how they get on in Europa League next season.
Yeah, it's the first time they've done well in a wee while.
Yeah, definitely.
Sevilla, the kind of quintessential Europa League team as well.
I don't get Sevilla. It's weird how they can be. They've actually done okay in the Champions League this season, considering they beat Man United. I never expected that to happen.
No. Well, this is the first time in I think 60 years.
60 years.
They've reached that level in European competition, so they'll be very pleased with that.
Yeah, definitely. And with
maybe that took its toll.
With their game against Bayern Munich, they actually done okay. I thought they'd really struggled against them, but they've done a good. They really put up a good reputation for themselves. So
they've put together a really solid squad.
Well, yeah, they made a couple of signings in January which never really worked. They signed Sandro Ramirez from Everton, and then a player that I liked
I know who that is.
A player that I liked last season at Las Palmas, Mesa, who signed for Swansea, but then he went out on loan to Seville in the second half of the season.
Right.
But they two never really had much an impact, even though they had done really well the season before in La Liga. With Sandro scoring a lot of goals for Malaga.
Who went down, not enough.
He went down, yes. But yeah, I really don't get Seville. I hope that I do like them as a club, so it'll be interesting to see if they can bounce back next season or if they're going to go the wrong direction. But they were actually quite lucky to come 7th and get that European place, because at times it did look like that Getafe or even Eibar or Girona, the team that I like this season, Girona, it looked like they could have been getting 7th place. So for teams like Eibar and Girona, that would have been massive, considering it was Girona's first season in the top flight. And Eibar, I've kind of got a soft spot for Eibar, a Scottish supporters club. So it's always quite good to have that connection. But yeah, they're very lucky in the end actually to get 7th spot, but fair play, they did get it. So it'll be interesting to see how their summer goes. I could see a few players leaving there.
They always get them in though.
But they always, they've got a good reputation for that.
I like the signings of like Ben Yedder, who was a good player for a sort of middling French club. So I think they can really attract those players to give them a platform.
And he left and he came back, so yeah.
Well, yeah, it gives them a platform for the Real Madrid and the Barcelona jobs, essentially, as we've seen with someone like Griezmann, who's all but certain to go to Barcelona.
Yeah,
despite the fact they've not been handling it too well and could be in line for another transfer ban. So well done them.
Yeah.
Further down the league, I think my Atletico Bilbao not such a good season.
Yeah, not as good a season for them.
12, 13, 14, 15,
16th they ended up, yeah. 16th.
Brutal. That's what happens when Valverde leaves and people like, the striker Aduriz hasn't.
Yeah.
It's kind of in his fading light.
He's getting towards the tail end of his career now, and don't get me wrong, he still pops up with the goals, but when you're asking, I'm sure he's 37 now, when you're asking him in the top flight of Spain to be your top goal scorer, that's where the issues start to come in.
I'll be interested to see if they hold on to the likes of Jethro Williams or Inaki Williams.
Inaki Williams, yeah.
I think that could be someone on their way out after such a poor season.
Yeah.
Looking further down though.
Further down, yeah. We had 3 teams went down. So we had Deportivo La Coruña.
Former European champions.
Yes, a bit of a shock. They're a bit yo-yoing at the moment. They go up and down through the leagues. So they had been in the Segunda, the second division in Spain, and then they came back up. So they had been in the league for a couple of seasons there, but went back down again. And as you say, they are a big team, Deportivo, so it is a bit of a surprise to see them going down. Serdov couldn't save them in charge of there.
I saw that, aye. It's an unusual management position for him to take.
Yeah, definitely. I was
very
a bit
risky.
surprised at that. They're not sure if he's going to stay on or not.
Yeah.
So that'll be an interesting one. And then I was a bit disappointed to see Las Palmas going down. I've always, especially last season, I really liked what they were doing there, Las Palmas, but it seems to have been a bit like Malaga. The club's been ran in the wrong way, so they've made like
into the ground.
big name signings which haven't really paid off. And I think losing Boateng to, I think it was Frankfurt, that was a bit of a blow for them because he had a tremendous season for them last season. And then they did lose a couple of their big players. They had a player called Jonathan that played in midfield. He was really good.
The Brazilian?
Jonathan Vieira. What's that?
He just sounds so English.
No, I can't.
Like names
I
like
think he
Fred.
comes from Spain. I think he comes from Spain.
Exotic.
But yeah, they were a great team to watch not this season, but last season, Las Palmas. So I'm a bit ashamed to see them go down. But to be honest, they deserve to go down because they have been really bad this season.
Everyone who is in those positions does.
And Malaga won't be doing that next season.
Malaga. We're talking about the Segunda division. It's fine.
But they've had a really bad season, coming bottom of the league with only 20 points. So really poor season for Malaga, but
in financial disarray.
They have been struggling this season in terms of finance. And from my point of view, it's a shame to see a club that were such high, they were really at the top of their game in terms of being in the Champions League. I think it was Pellegrini that was there actually at the time.
Yes, you're right.
And I remember them playing Dortmund.
Did really well. I'm sure they got.
I'm sure it was
last 16.
It was last 16 or last 8. I think it was.
16,
yeah. I think that was the season maybe that Dortmund got to the final, wasn't it? Maybe.
Yeah, probably against Bayern Munich.
But yeah, it's a shame to see how the clubs went from one level to another. Really,
it's the way football goes.
Yeah, wait and see if any of these clubs can bounce back in the first season.
The Segunda division's actually going to be quite strong.
Yeah,
next
I'd say
season.
so. Yeah,
lots of big teams. So if you're really deep cut into your football, keep an eye. But no, very exciting. I think for next season's the Liga, we'd hope for actually something to play for.
Yeah,
on the final day, and a bit more kind of close and competitive because it's not really been there this season.
It's I've enjoyed it in terms of at the top of the league, maybe not as competitive as what it usually is. But in terms of the middle of the league, it's been really competitive. Probably a wee bit more like the Italian league and even the French league this season, which we're just about to get onto. But it's, as you say, Barcelona have ran away with it, but you can't take anything away from Barcelona. They have been outstanding this season.
If they sign Griezmann, they get nothing for the next 5 years.
But yeah, I've really enjoyed it this season. I think it's been a bit of a shock to see how Real Madrid never performed as well as what we expected. Barcelona doing really well. Atletico Madrid's been their usual selves, and the surprises with Real Betis, as you said, Paul.
Yeah.
But overall, really good. I've enjoyed the season, and it'll be interesting to see the transfers in the summer. Any big money transfers?
As always.
So yeah.
Yeah, good. Thank you for that, Darren.
No bother.
We'll be sure to do a league preview at some point as well.
Yeah.
I'll quickly rush through Ligue 1, as I say. I've maybe watched a total of 70 minutes of live football from this division.
I've watched a few games this season.
I just do not have the time for all this European football.
I remember the Lyon Marseille game being really good.
Well, actually,
Memphis Depay.
We'll come on to that. You've seen Lyon in the flesh.
Yeah, that's right, actually.
This season against Everton. So, for the first time in France, Ligue 1, in the competition's history, this year's Ligue 1 championship was contested by 19 teams, with Paris Saint-Germain already declared winners at the start of the season. Seems to be the fair thing there. PSG maintains first ever since, I think, the third game of the season.
Yeah.
I never really
I would have been
looked
surprised.
back from there.
I would have been surprised if it wasn't PSG.
I think the strength of PSG is clear to see.
Especially after the signing of Neymar.
Yes, who was the player of the season despite the fact he got injured kind of February time. I think they really missed him for the likes of the Champions League.
Mm-hmm.
I think the question I would pose is it fair? Because the French leagues have traditionally been quite frugal. You know, clubs live very much within their means. And if you look behind Paris Saint-Germain, the league's been very, very competitive.
It has been, yeah.
And I think if you look at the French league, it's probably provided the largest variety of winners out of all the European leagues. You know, before the money of Paris came in, I know Lyon had a dominance for a period of time, but it really could have been anybody. I mean, we've had Montpellier, we've had Monaco, you know, lots of different winners. So it's a bit of a shame that PSG kind of steamroller it in the way they do. But no, as I say, strong. I think they'll be a bit miffed. They won every trophy going in France. Not good enough Champions League performance. And I think that's where they were really looked to, and I think that's why Emery maybe wasn't considered for the job next year.
I know, yeah. I always thought it was a big job for Emery, really. I was quite surprised when he first got appointed that job. I think it was Seville he went from, wasn't it?
Well, it was.
I suppose he done well at Seville considering they got the Europa League.
Well, exactly, that's why he was hired for his sort of European prowess. And he's got an alright job himself.
Yeah, I suppose so, yeah.
At the back end of this. So can't really complain there. I think, you know, going forward into next season, they would like to see Neymar fitter for a period of time.
If he stays.
I think
he will. I'd be surprised.
You cannot spend over €100 million on somebody for them to stay for a year.
I wouldn't have thought so, no.
It's just frankly no on. They shouldn't have been making these noises. It's absolutely ridiculous. So I thought I'd cover kind of the main stories in the French League this year. We'll pass by. I think we're running out of time slightly. So the French Cup, may not have heard, it was Paris Saint-Germain against third tier Les RBA.
I heard about that, yeah.
Who actually installed an Eiffel Tower in the corner of the ground to celebrate the cup final, and actually valiantly defeated only 2-0. Paris Saint-Germain, if you got half a point for hitting the post, would have won 9-0. But it was a full squad. I thought Les Herbiers held themselves up really well. Didn't play any Premier opposition on the way to the final. I think Long.
I was wondering how they got there, but yeah,
it was a relatively simple route. But they did play Long, who are a very big Ligue 2 team, who used to be formerly a Ligue 1 glory. But sadly, 3 days later, they were relegated into the fourth tier.
I hadn't heard that. That's a shocker.
I know results around them. Such as the cruel game of football. But it put me in mind of, like, I was trying to think of similar things we've had, and I remember Gretna getting to the cup final. We had Queen of the South in the cup final. Was it Bradford City got to the League Cup final years ago?
Yeah, I'm sure they did,
against Swansea. So it does happen.
It does happen, yeah. Some story. It's a great story.
Fantastic fairy tale.
Yeah.
Sadly relegated, but they now have an Eiffel Tower in the corner. I think the fans are absolutely thrilled at that. The other story was the Ligue 1 playoff descended into absolute chaos. It was La Havre faced off against Ajaccio. Ajaccio finishing above La Havre, so it's a kind of similar structure to the Championship.
Right, yeah.
Now Ajaccio is on the island of Corsica.
Right, okay.
Other team from there is Bastia. You may remember were forced to play like all their games behind closed doors after their fans attacked the Lyon players.
Yeah.
I think last season.
Yeah.
So Corsican fans, the beautiful island, not such a good reputation. So they, of course, attacked the bus. On their way, the bus broke down. There was glass shattered.
I remember hearing about that, yeah.
Claims of racism, things like that. The second leg, I believe there was 4 red cards dished out after an incident. Lavra scored. He put his fingers in his ears, which I think reflected a Memphis Depay celebration.
Yeah.
Because that's been absolutely stellar.
Yeah,
this
definitely.
season.
He's been outstanding.
And I will come on to those players in a moment. So the referee just held out his red card and turned into the directions of whoever he wanted to send
right,
up,
okay. Yeah.
which was unbelievable scenes. Unfortunately, Ajaccio, who caused all the trouble, won that fixture on penalties, which nobody wanted to happen. The French authorities basically said, look, we can't overturn the results, but you are playing
So that's it.
you are playing the next game on the mainland behind closed doors. So if anyone was watching on BT Sport, they played it in Montpellier, behind closed doors against Toulouse, and Toulouse won like 4-0, 5-0.
4-0, yeah.
You know, who was they? I think it was Max Gradel, formerly of Bournemouth.
All right, yes.
Playing with Toulouse, and a few more familiar faces there. So thank goodness Ajaccio didn't go up. And long may they play the rest of their games behind closed doors, because that is a shame.
No, that's true. Very true.
So Toulouse survived, but no one really likes them that much either. But as I say, competitive behind Paris Saint-Germain in the league. You know, Lyon, Marseille and Monaco have been...
I find it really interesting to see how that's went. It's I've watched a few of the games this season. I watched a Lyon Monaco game and I watched a Lyon Marseille game, and they were really competitive, really good games.
They're such good... See, Lyon especially are such a fantastic attacking team.
Yeah,
I think they've got 3 of their strikers are on the top scorer list, and rightfully so. I mean, people like Nabil Fekir is an absolutely stunning footballer.
Oh yeah, really good. I was really impressed with Lyon when I seen them against Everton.
That's the thing, you saw them at Goodison Park.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
They beat Everton, didn't they? Was it a draw?
They did, no, they won 1-0. 1-0. Yeah, it was 1-0. Yeah, 1-0. Doubt myself there.
Was
it 2-1? No, it was 2-1.
2-1.
It was 2-1. Williams, I remember him scoring, running into the crowd, and then the guy had the wane in his arm, and then there was the punch up there.
That was ridiculous, wasn't it? But they certainly don't miss the likes of Lacazette from earlier on the season. So fantastic. Also, Marseille, Florian Thauvin was their player of the season. He was the second highest scorer behind Edinson Cavani. When I say Florian Thauvin, I of course mean Florian Thauvin, aka Charlie Puth. They look like exactly the same person, aka Peter Pollitt. For all the former Aberdeen fans out there, look at pictures of the 3 of them. You won't be able to tell the difference. I think of a "Tell Me What You Did to Me" reference, but it's not quite going. So despite really struggling for Newcastle and things, he's been excellent. He's actually been picked for the France squad.
Oh, has he?
Ahead of people like Anthony Martial. Adrien Rabiot wasn't picked. Quite a few names he's kind of pipped to the post. Just for playing so well.
I suppose playing in his home league, that's definitely helped.
Absolutely. And despite making that Europa League final, which I think would be a huge highlight for Marseille, it's not, I thought they were a bit lacklustre in the final.
Payet plays for them too.
He does.
He went off injured in the final, which was a bit of a blow for them.
Well, that's why he's not picked
for
the French one. I think one thing about Marseille is just they have this great team culture of getting the best out of players that feel comfortable there. So like Payet, I know did quite well at West Ham, but that just seems to be his home. Thauvin similarly works best there. Another standout for them has been Luis Gustavo.
Yes, yeah.
Brazilian player used to play with Wolfsburg.
Yeah, that was the team.
It's been fantastic. So they've picked really wisely.
So they've got a wee bit more money now, Marseille, haven't they? They've got new investors or that, didn't they? A while back.
So they went really well, but sadly missed out on the Champions League spot. So that went to Monaco and Lyon, who I think fully deserves it. For the other European places, Rennes, Bordeaux and Saint-Etienne, with Mario Balotelli's Nice narrowly missing out. Despite their absolutely stellar season, last year. Haven't been able to
quite hit the heights this season, couldn't they?
No, been very, very competitive, but they had a bit of a European run themselves. In the group stages, I can't remember if they got through the Europa League, but I think that maybe took it out of them a wee bit. Which is a shame. But a few of the transfer rumours, apparently Nabil Fekir, the sterling.
Was it Liverpool, was it?
Liverpool.
Yeah.
£50 million plus. I think worth that.
I would say so, yeah. I've been impressed by him.
But I think Liverpool have just signed this Fabinho, haven't they?
Yeah.
for the same
How
region of
many
money.
midfielders do they need? I know Can's rumoured to be leaving them. He's maybe going to
Oh yeah,
Juventus. I heard.
Can, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Can. Yeah. So that might be a reason why they're trying to get him in. But at the same time, I think Liverpool should be looking for a goalkeeper more than anything. But so yeah, it would be a great signing for Liverpool. But they've got his name's out of my head now. Oh, Chiesa, sorry, coming from
Red Bull,
yeah,
for another astonishing 60 million or something.
So it's a lot of midfielders that seem to be signing Liverpool.
A few other people that are looking. I think Javier Pastore to West Ham.
I did hear that rumour. Yeah,
quite strong. He's not really been at the forefront of the PSG.
No, it's a bit of a step down though to West Ham. I feel
it's going to be a wage cut.
Yeah.
But if it's going to be games, happy days.
It's game time, yeah.
I think someone like Angel Di Maria, who apparently has been on the phone to Diego Simeone.
Ah, right, okay, yeah.
Take me now or lose me forever. But then the other rumour around that is that he wants Cavani to replace Griezmann.
Yeah.
Cavani this season just becoming PSG's top scorer of all time.
Yeah.
So, where you want to ride that out, become a PSG legend, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Cristiano Ronaldo to PSG. Apparently, Casemiro is someone they're interested in as well.
Was that right? Ah, right, okay.
Yeah, that's kind of some loose rumours.
But
no, they'll need to be interested to see, because obviously they've got a new boss, Thomas Tuchel, and if he's able
I'll
to...
be interested to see how he does at PSG, to be honest. I was quite impressed with the job he done at Dortmund, to be honest. So hopefully he can do the same sort of job at PSG. Obviously it's a bigger level and he's going to have bigger sort of personalities,
Absolutely.
let's say, to deal with. So
bigger funds, bigger management.
Yeah.
We will see how he gets on. So I think that about rounds us off for this week. Thank you very much for joining us for our reviews. Comment below. Again, I'm needing new theme tunes and things like that. So thank you very much for listening from me, Paul.
Thanks for listening, everyone, from Darren.
And have a good evening, a good afternoon, and a good morning. Bye-bye.